What is up, everybody? Welcome to a U Mortgage special training for all the realtors they love, brought to you by this guy. For those of you who don't know me, I am Kyle Draper, and can I just say I love U Mortgage. I love the leadership. I love all the people involved. There's not anybody that does it better, and so I am so honored to be here and pour into you guys. And hopefully, many of you showed up today with a desire to get better at social media. And if you did, you're in the right place, because that's what we're going to talk about. I wrote a book called Rethink Everything You Know About Social Media, because I've spent years watching people do it wrong, patting themselves on the back because they think they're doing it right, and ultimately spinning their wheels, because if you're like most, the effort you're putting in there is not going to yield you what you hope it will. And so we've got to do it different. And so as we go through this today, guys, when you have a question, there is a question box. It's up at the top. It's got a little question mark in it. If you submit the question, I will see it on my side, and we will do some Q&A at the end if you guys have questions, and I'm happy to help. But guys, here is my ask as we jump into this thing. Be open-minded. Be open-minded, because there's going to be some things that you go, oof, I do that. Ugh, I need to stop. And you need to have enough humility to be okay with that. That's what it takes for any of us to grow. And so that's what I want to ask of you. And as we jump in, guys, document the day. Take a selfie with the slide on the screen when you see something you like. Tag somebody you're watching this with or that you think needs to see this. Tag U Mortgage. Tag your lender partner that has invited you onto this call. This is how we win on social media. It's not by being out there asking for business. It's simply by showing up when someone needs you. And so we got to do this very intentionally and selfishly. Tag me. I'm Coach Kyle Draper on all platforms. Use the hashtag Rethink Everything so I can track it. That's the name of my books. That's the name of the brand. And so that would be awesome. And so, without further ado, I don't know if you could hear that. I think I spiked my mic trying to do a drum roll. But why does any of this matter? Because the world we live in is all about social proof. Social proof is this. We can no longer only be awesome in real life. We have to also look awesome on the internet. It hasn't always been like this. This isn't fair, but this is the world we live in. If I'm really good at my job and someone tells someone that, man, Kyle's really good at what he does, you need to reach out to Kyle. Well, we know in 2024, the first thing somebody's going to do is go look me up. And so if I'm not a social media person, I'm screwed. I'm in big trouble, because they're going to go, man, why did these people say Kyle's so good? I can't even hardly find him. I don't even think he has a LinkedIn. He doesn't even have a profile on this page. And then they're never going to reach out to you. And so social media, guys, it shouldn't be a place. It has been. But it should not be a place that we look at for lead generation. What is lead generation? Lead generation is when we go out looking for new opportunity, typically from a stranger. We should be looking at social media as lead preservation. Why? Because you already know more people than you're currently successful. And so your business does not need more leads. Your business needs more eyeballs from all the people that already know, like, and trust you. And to do this, guys, we have to do social media different. We've got to do it different. And that's what I'm here to teach you about today. And so before we can get into the tips, the tricks, the things we want to take from it, we've got to talk about a dilemma. Because there is a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And he addresses it perfectly as to why you and I struggle. Because if we're being honest, we struggle to do social media well. We're great at bragging about ourselves. We're great at talking about our business. We're bad at showing up with a genuine desire to create value for people, expecting nothing in return. And so what is the dilemma? The dilemma is this. Pre-1920, and I know that was a long time ago, right? 104 years ago, was what Stephen Covey called the character ethic. And the character ethic was this. Back then, people believed in integrity. Back then, people believed in humility. Back then, people believed in courage. And so they knew that if they set out to be better, to be men and women of integrity, to be men and women with humility, to be men and women who have courage, that their character was going to grow. And as their character grew, everything got better for them. As I became a better man of integrity, I became a better father, a better husband, a better businessman, a better salesperson, a better friend, all of the above, right? That's now what we call personal development. We think everybody loves it. Most people don't. Most people do nothing intentionally to grow themselves. Well, so what happened was in the 1920s, the personality ethic developed. And what the personality ethic said was, I'm just going to focus on my public image. I'm going to focus on attitude. I'm going to focus on personality. And really what this boiled down to was getting better is hard. Growing as a person is difficult. And so I'm going to tailor myself to whoever I'm around. I'm going to change my personality based on my surroundings. And that's how I'm going to create trust with people. So the problem has now become, guys, all of us, we are walking schizophrenics. We are walking multiple personality disorders, because when I say, as the social media expert, you need to do more video, the subconscious question that I'm now trying to push into your conscious is, but which version of me am I supposed to be? Because when I'm around this group of people, I cuss a ton. When I get around this group of people, I don't cuss as much. When I'm around them, I drink too much. When I'm around them, I don't really drink at all. When I'm around them, we talk sports. When I'm around them, we talk business. When I'm around them, we talk family. And so if I'm supposed to be on the internet more, which version of me am I supposed to be? This is the ultimate dilemma that we are facing right now, is you don't know. You don't know which version of yourself you're supposed to be on social media. And so what I want to give you clarity on today is be exactly who you believe yourself to be. If you went and looked at your social media right now, does it represent you authentically? If you love to cuss, are you cussing in your videos on social? I think you should be. If you've got a passion for hunting, are you talking about hunting on social? I think you should be. Because the more authentic we're willing to be, the easier it gets to show up. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. And Dr. Maxwell Maltz says it beautifully when he says, a person cannot rise above how they see themselves. And so let me coach you for just a second. It doesn't matter how much someone else believes in you if you don't believe in yourself. You have to see the value in yourself in order to give value to others. But what most people do is they use social media to chase validation. And so we find that validation in the likes that we get, the comments that we get, the shares that we get. And that's how we go, yes, this is working. I had a video go viral. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. But then when we do the video that gets 11 views, 1 comment, 0 shares, now all of a sudden we're a loser, incapable of anything good. And this roller coaster of emotion is what keeps us from being relevant and present and consistent with social media. And so this is what we have to overcome today. It's a little bit tips and tricks, but it's also a little bit psychology. And for those of you that you're experiencing me for the first time, I didn't even tell you this in the beginning. I am a former pastor turned roofer, now social media guy, serial entrepreneur, coach, speaker, blah, 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 blah. And so if this feels a little bit different than a typical training, it is different because you've probably never had a social media lesson from a former pastor before. And so we're going to go deep. And I ask that you will come with me because I truly believe that there are answers in this training that are going to ignite your business for the rest of 2024 and into 2025, through 2025 and beyond, because this is what your competition is unwilling to do. This is what most people are afraid of. Why? Because most people have zero confidence. We love to fake it. We love to mask it. We love to pretend like we do. But at the end of the day, we don't like the way we look. We don't like the way we sound. We don't know what to talk about. And even when we do talk, we don't genuinely believe anybody cares. And so I'm here to tell you that you matter, that you're a man or woman of significance, that people around you are better because of you. And you need to be speaking more. And as you do this better, your business is going to grow. Your business is going to be benefited. And so I'm going to give you guys some of the nuggets from this book. This is my first book. The green one is my second book. The orange one is the third book that just came out about 10 days ago. And so you can go find any of them on Amazon. If you go search Rethink Everything, you'll find all of them. But here's where we're going to jump into this thing. Your ego is the enemy. Your ego is the enemy. Kyle, man, what does that mean? It means this. Your ego is a liar. It will tell you your social media should be about you, but it should be about what's in it for others. Guys, this is the narrative that has to change when it comes to social media. Most of us use social media as a place for us to brag about how great we are. Check out my listing. Check out my closing. Check out my car. Check out my vacation. Check out my kids going to public school, going to private school. Me, my. And then we wonder, why am I not getting any business from social media? Because you're not creating any value for other people's lives. And so one of the things that I do for me and that I coach is when you create a post, before you hit the post button, ask yourself, who does this edify? Who does this edify? Does this only edify me and make me look awesome? Or does this edify others? Because not all of your content is bad. It's just that the perspective is bad. You're making the closing photo about you when it should be about your buyers. It should be about your sellers. You should be telling their story. But instead, you're just spotlighting your closing. And so it's all about perspective. It's all about storytelling. But we've got to get our ego out of the driver's seat of social media. Otherwise, we're always going to struggle. Because think about this. How often are you asked about earnest money? I would imagine all the time. And you have people go, earnest money, tell me what that is again. I know I should know what that is, but what is that? Do I get that back? How much is that exactly? And so if you get questions about earnest money, you should be creating a video answering that question. What is earnest money? And so for some of you, maybe right this second, you're like, oh yeah, that'd be a great video. I need to go do that video. And so now you're psyching yourself up to do that video. But in 2 hours, when you find some time to do it, you're in your office, this webinar is over, you're no longer excited or energized by me because I'm gone. Your ego, if it's running the show, it's going to go, psst, what are you doing? You're going to do a video about earnest money? That's not cool. That's not sexy. That's not going to go viral. Surely there's something better. And guys, this happens all the time. You're going to go, oh, yeah, man, surely I can think of something better to do than that. To which you're going to do what? Nothing. You're going to do nothing because you let your ego talk you out of a video that is true. It's not sexy, but it's exactly what people need. And so this is the struggle with ego, is it's always going to steer us in the wrong direction when it comes to social media and creating content and building and earning trust with people. But also, we have to come into agreement with this, guys. Video is hard. Video is hard. And here's why I believe it's hard. I believe that video is the hardest thing we will ever do on social media because it is the most truth-telling mirror we will ever look into. When we have to pull up that camera, man, we know how to put on a show, a performance for the audience, but what the audience doesn't know is the self-talk that we're providing to ourselves. Because you know about that bill that you just got last night that you may not be able to afford right this second. You remember the fight that you got into with one of your kids this morning and you said something you shouldn't have. You remember a couple nights ago going to sleep without telling your spouse you love them because y'all got into it before bedtime. And so you show up on camera and all you know how to think about is, oh, I'm a poser. Who am I to be on here educating people, encouraging people, motivating people when, man, my life is out of order? I'm disappointing my kids. I'm fighting with my spouse. I've got an unpaid bill. Hey, Tammy, with some hearts. Thank you. I didn't even know you could do that. That's fun. And so, guys, I know that this is deep. And that some of you are like, dude, can you just tell me what hashtags to use? But until you realize the depth of this, you're going to fart around on social media for the rest of your career and it never will be what you want it to be. Because, guys, I know people with millions of followers. I know people that create killer content. I spend a lot of time creating content. And if you can't overcome yourself, you'll never become what you want to be on social media. And so this is deep. This is psychological. But here's what I love about it. Your competition's afraid to do this too. There's a reason why I've been doing video now for 10 years and most people still aren't doing it. It's not because we don't know about it. It's not because of a lack of awareness. It is because it is hard. Because it's deep. It's psychological. It's emotional. And so we got to dig deep if we want to do this well. And so here's how we begin to alleviate the pressure that video creates. We make our efforts about helping others win. We make our efforts about helping others win. I was recording my podcast this morning with my two partners on the podcast, and one of them this morning, he said, hey guys, if you're struggling with burnout, instead of selling, why don't you focus more on serving and solving? And I thought, dang it, that's good. If you woke up today asking yourself the question, how do I use social media to help someone else win? How would that change what you choose to post? How would that change the fear and anxiety that comes along with what you post? Because when I make my content not about me, it's weird how my fear and anxiety goes away because it's not about me anymore. I'm doing this to help others. And many of you have probably heard this quote. Zig Ziglar says, you can have everything in life that you want if you just give enough other people what they want. And so let's get real practical with this. You want more sellers. What does the potential seller struggling with right now? What questions are they battling? What ideas are they processing to determine if this is even the right time to sell a house? Because aren't interest rates high? And so we've got a 3% locked into this home, and are we going to sell this one and then end up with a 6% on another one? Like, you should know all the things they're asking themselves right now. So what are you doing about it? Are you creating the right content that's educating people to the struggles you already know they're experiencing? Or are you just going to wake up tomorrow and go find a picture of one of your previous listings and post it? We got to do this better. We've got to be more intentional. We've got to be leveraging our true expertise. But we've got to make it about others. And so I want to give you two questions right now. I do not have them on a slide. The two questions are this. These two questions are going to provide you with unlimited amounts of content if you will allow it. The first question is this: what do I get asked the most about real estate? What do I get asked the most about real estate? And now you need to create a running list of all the questions that you've ever been asked. Good ones, bad ones, short ones, long ones. All of them. You've had to have been asked 100 questions over the course of your career. Every one of these should become a video. Every single one. Well, Kyle, I don't know what to do with it. Well, guess what? You can't do anything with it until you have it. So let's break this down into steps. Why don't you get comfortable recording video and then we'll figure out what to do with that video? But I watch too many people that want to understand the entire process before they're even willing to get in front of the camera and hit the button. So first question, what do I get asked the most about real estate? Second question, what am I surprised that people don't already know? Because you probably, in conversation about real estate, you say something and people go, whoa, 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 whoa. What was that? Tell me that again. And so you need to train your brain that every time someone asks for clarification, you think, oop, that needs to be a video. Somebody didn't know what earnest money was. That should probably become a video. This is a revolving door. A revolving door for your content. Because I love to ask realtors and lenders, and y'all feel free to put this in the chat. I'd love to know. Yeah, y'all put this in the chat. How many questions do you think you get asked during a typical transaction, start to finish? How many questions? I've got chat pulled up, and so I'm going to give it a sec, and I want you guys to tell me in the chat, how many questions, just drop a number, how many questions do you think you get asked during a typical transaction? 5, 10, 30, 50. How many is it? 4 to 5. 5. Ian Blake, come on, bro. 5 questions. There's no way. I think Amanda is more on par with 50. Tiffany says 30. My guess is it's probably in the 20-ish to 30 range. Unless you're dealing with people that have bought 5 or 6 homes in the past. And so let's lowball it. Let's call it 20. Right? Let's call it 20. That's 20 videos that you should be able to create from that transaction alone. That goes something like this. Hey guys, I was talking to one of my clients today, and they asked me a question that I thought, man, doesn't everybody need to know that? And so here it is. Boom. Deliver the question, provide the solution, done. Video over. That's cake, guys. Every single time. You have this ability. But we have to genuinely want to help others win. Instead of waking up going, what can I post today to help me get more business? We got to switch it around. But also, we have to be trustworthy. And I know that you think you're trustworthy, and I'm sure you are. But being trustworthy in real life isn't what we're talking about. What we're talking about is, do you pass the sniff test? If I send someone to your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, your LinkedIn, your YouTube channel, does someone trust you? Would somebody even stick around long enough to have the chance to trust you? Or would they be bored to tears with what they saw? Or would they instantly go, wow, is this guy a douche? Because all he seems to care about is himself. And so one of my questions that I ask myself is, does what I'm about to post cause someone to trust me more or less? Does what I'm about to post cause someone to trust me more or less? This is how I decide what I'm going to post. So right before this started, I took a selfie. I made sure all 3 books were in the background of the selfie. I got on LinkedIn, which is my favorite platform right now, and I created a post. I tagged U Mortgage, and I said, about to jump on a webinar where we're going to talk to U Mortgage's realtor partners about how to rethink everything they know about social media. And so covertly, I'm letting other companies know, oh man, we should have Kyle do a training for our realtor partners. Right? But if I put up a post that's like, who wants to do a training for your realtor partners? Nobody's going to say yes to that. And so we've got to tell the story. We've got to allow trust to set in. That's why this question matters so much. But we get lazy, don't we? And we just go, ugh, I haven't posted in like 3 days, so I guess I'm just going to post something. And it's horrible. Guys, can I tell you this? You're better documenting your day than you are bragging about your business. Like, I would rather see you talk about what you ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner than I would watch you just post a closing photo. Because at least what you ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is interesting to other people. And so we've got to understand. And I think to understand this, we have to relate this to having coffee with a friend, or going to brunch, or spending time with anybody you care about. If you talk about it at coffee, it should be a topic of conversation on social media. And so, like, we have our best friends. I'm best friends with the husband. My wife's best friends with the wife. Our daughters are best friends. And so When we hang out, we talk about tons of different things. One of the things that we always talk about is like, hey, what are y'all watching right now? Y'all watching anything good on Netflix or Hulu or right Max? What? And we'll have a whole conversation about it. Well, guess what? Everybody on your Facebook would love to have that conversation too. And so that's why every day I see somebody post, I just finished X. What should I watch next on Netflix? And 50 comments later, that post was pretty engaging. But then if you just post, hey, we just launched a new product, nobody cares. Check out my new listing. Nobody cares. And so it's not that we stop posting that, but we've got to change the way we post it. But we've got to also add more content that allows people to trust us as a human being. For those of you that don't know me, go to my social media today and try not to like me. It's impossible. I'm great. When you get there, you're going to see a loving father. You're going to see an invested husband. You're going to see a serial entrepreneur that is always trying to come up with a new strategy to serve more people. You're going to hardly see any content of me asking you for business. And I'm doing pretty well right now. We've got to do this different. And so as we do this, here's what I believe is the most impactful thing on the planet that you can be doing. Daily video. Now, daily video is not what you think it is. Daily video is not about becoming a superstar on social. It's not about going viral. It's not about becoming an influencer. Daily video is this. How many times a day can you send one-on-one video to people? One-to-one video. Can you follow up with partners? Can you follow up with leads? Can you check in on past clients? Can you celebrate somebody on their birthday or anniversary? But instead of writing on their wall or sending it in an email or sending it with words in a text message, what if it were video? What if it were video? What if you took 15 seconds to just jump on video real quick from wherever you are and love on somebody? And here's the key. Do these videos from wherever you find yourself in the moment that you have the thought. Because our backgrounds tell stories. Our backgrounds use a language that we can't use. Our backgrounds speak to people. And so if I send a couple videos out next week when I take my family to the fair, the State Fair of Texas, when I send those videos to some of my people in Texas, they're going to go, bro, are you at the fair? What'd you eat? And it's going to create dialogue. That's not what my video is about. But that's what our conversation post the video will be about. Because our backgrounds tell stories. But if you only record video from your office in your business attire, you're going to rob people of getting to know you at a deeper level. If you sit in the carpool line every day, guess what? You should record some videos from the carpool line. It's powerful. You take a walk, record some videos on your walk. The other day, I spoke 18 minutes from my house, and it was awesome because usually I get on an airplane to speak these days. And so to only drive 18 minutes was awesome. So I get to the venue, I start speaking to these people. We talk about daily video, and all their faces go, oh. And so I pulled my phone out. I said, guys, look at this. I opened up my camera roll, and I said, look at all these videos. I recorded 5 videos at the 5 stoplights that I got stuck at on my way to that event. I don't have time to do this. Kyle, man, how do you have all this time, man? I'm busy. I recorded 5 videos at the 5 stoplights on my way to the event. We make time for what we value. Guys, can I tell you that for almost a decade, I've been telling myself that I'm too busy to work out, that I just don't have time. I don't know how my buddies do it that have time. I just don't have time. And last week I said enough is enough. And guess what? I've been to the gym 7 times in the last 8 days. We make time for what we value. And so stop lying to yourself that, when I have more time, I'll do it. When the kids are back in school, that's what we all said this summer. When the kids are back in school, I'm going to do it. No, you're not. No, you didn't. Because here we are. It's almost October, and there's still things you said you were going to do when the kids went back to school. And so we got to reprioritize. You got to be putting video in your processes. When you look at your process, when you look at the way you communicate with people throughout your process, stop sending boring text messages and emails when you could record videos instead. They're more engaging. They breed trust. You're teaching them how to refer you to their friends. This is a no-brainer. But you have to overcome yourself. I told you guys we're going to go deep today. And I apologize if y'all were hoping that this would be an easy session on your brain and that I might be challenging it a little bit. But before I leave this, let me tell you a quick story about this book. I co-authored this book with a guy named Brian and 37 people that we asked to be a part of it. It took us 4 months to create it before we launched it. And since then, we've sold thousands and thousands of copies. My partner, Brian, we wrote this entire book. We even shared a bank account where we started making money before we ever found ourselves in a room together. We didn't meet in person until 2 months after the book released. But we were on FaceTime every day. We were in Teams every day. We were on Zoom every day. Every day, he and I were doing what you're doing with me right now. And so, guys, imagine how different this webinar would be if I was like, oh, sorry, guys, my camera's not working. And so we're going to do the webinar like this. And like, how lame did this webinar just get right now? Now, all you have to do is look at this slide and hear my voice. This is the power. This is where the engagement comes from. This is why we enjoy this, because there's engagement here. There's power and connection. Guys, don't miss this. Your brain doesn't know the difference in processing me over GoToWebinar right now versus you and I having coffee. It doesn't know the difference. All your brain knows is that I spent time with Kyle today. It's all your brain knows. And so tomorrow, when you see a video from me, I spent time with Kyle today. The next day, you see a video of me, I spent time with Kyle today. Your brain doesn't go, whoa, 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 Amanda. That's not real. That's using the internet thing. You can't trust it. Guys, our brains don't know the difference. I wrote an entire book with a partner I never met. I shared a bank account with a partner I never met. He's one of my best friends now. And we've still only been in the same room together 3 times in our entire lives. And so you want your business to grow, you need to find more opportunities for people to see you on camera. Period. Now let's begin to land this plane. Oh, I didn't show you this slide, but why daily video? Because it ignites your referral opportunities. We work in an industry where real estate conversations are happening every single day all around us. And so the question is, can you get in front of the right people at the right time so that when they start talking real estate, there came your birthday video and they're like, oh my gosh, I almost forgot that Victoria was a realtor. This is why this matters. Now, let's wrap this up. One of the struggles that I hear from people all the time is I don't know what to talk about. 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 Well, here's what's cool. You don't need to have something new to talk about every single day. You just need to create a baseline of content, and every quarter or so, you can start repurposing the stuff that worked. You got to say it again. And this is my favorite quote from my favorite book. And actually, I have it sitting here because it's always sitting here. My favorite book on the planet is called Steal Like an Artist. This is how I patterned all of my Rethink Everything books is around the way this book looks and feels. It's a trilogy. I'd encourage all of you to get it. You're welcome. You'll thank me later. In this book, he quotes a French writer that says, everything that needs to be said has already been said, but since no one was listening, what, Kyle? But since no one was listening, everything must be said again. And so this is why we cannot fall victim to the lie that my people know what I do. So if they need me, they'll reach out. They know I'm in real estate. No, they won't. And it's not because they don't want to. It's because at no point in history has our attention been fought for like it is right now. Everything. I've been at the gym a lot this week. I'm watching young people, guys in between sets. They're picking their phone up. Oh my gosh, what did I miss in those last 45 seconds? It took me to do those hammer curls. Well, put it down. Do another set. Whoa, what did I miss? Let me go check out what. Our attention is being fought for at a higher rate than ever before. And so for us to think that, oh, all of my people know that I'm a speaker. All of my people know that I'm a social media guy. All of my people know that I own a VA company. All of my people know that I write books. Nobody's going to think about it in the moment of decision beyond who they see last. Period. That's all our brain has space for, is who we saw last. And so if you're like, yeah, but I post like twice a week, it's not enough. It's not enough. You're going to leave all those hours for other things to create distraction. This is why, guys, we have to show up more, but we have to do it with the desire to serve others. Because if you show up more, but your content still sucks and is super salesy, well, now you're even worse. So we've got to do this for other people. We've got to create genuine value. So to get us there, we have to accept our issues. I know I look more attractive than I am when I teach webinars because I can look less fat when I'm sitting here like this. And I have cool hair, and a beard. And so, I feel fairly attractive when I teach webinars. Well, I'm a large dude. I'm 6'3", 280 pounds. And so in 10 years of doing video, guys, I've never done a video where I thought, dang, bro, you are good looking. Your wife is lucky. Wow. I've never thought it. I watch myself on video and go, good night, Jabba the Hutt. How many chins do you have? Like, it's unbelievable. I think you got fatter over the course of this video. And so, you know why I'm able to do what I do? Because I've accepted my issues. You got to accept your issues. You're not the greatest at everything. But who is? And here's what I've learned. Because what I do at all the companies I own, right? My speaking company is my biggest company. And so I get to travel around and speak to big groups, big rooms, small rooms, right? All over the place. And what I've had to learn now over 21 years of public speaking is most people already think you're awesome because you literally walked on the stage. Because most of the audience goes, how does Kyle do that? I would freak out if I had to talk in front of 2,000 people. Good for that guy that he can do this. And so I'm backstage going, I hope they like me. I hope they like me. I hope they like me. Oh my gosh, I hope they like me. I hope they think I'm cool. And like, I've already won just by taking that step out from behind the curtain. You have already won by putting a video on the internet or in front of people. You've already won. Because the people on the receiving end of that video are going to go, oh, man, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they make those videos all the time. I could never make one of those. They are already loving it before they've even finished it. And so what does all this mean? Guys, all this is summed up into this statement. Some do, others will, and the rest don't matter. I told you in the beginning, you don't need more people. Let me say it again. You don't need more people. You need to go serve the people you already have. And so, some do. Guys, some people love you already. Others will. Others are going to love you in the future. And who gives a flying crap about the rest? Who freaking cares? Who cares? Who cares? I wear a t-shirt a lot when I speak. And in 11 years of doing this publicly, I've lost one speaking gig, to my knowledge, because someone asked me to wear a suit, and I said, I'm so sorry, I don't even own a suit, and so I will not be. And they were like, well, then we probably can't have you speak. Guys, what other issues was that company going to have if that was their problem? And so I thank God every day that I didn't get that gig, because it probably would have been horrible for other reasons. And so you've got to get more secure in who you were created to be. Now, this is where I bring faith into it for me, right? When I am able to believe that a creator designed me perfectly the way I'm supposed to be, it's a little easier for me to accept my flaws. I'm not telling you need to believe like me, but that's how it works for me. Some do, others will, and the rest don't matter. You do you, and watch incredible things happen. But guys, here's the end of this thing. The reason and the way that I got started into all this was I was a pastor for 10 years. We quit pastoring. We moved with our young son at the time to Oklahoma, where my wife was from. She's still from there, actually. And I didn't know anybody, but I started in roofing. And so I am learning on the go. I'm learning on the fly. I'm failing and failing and failing and failing. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I keep trying new things. And I was meeting a ton of realtors back then. And I just kept trying. And I was the video guy. I was doing videos from the rooftops of houses. Like, that's weird and boring. Nobody wanted to watch that. I think people watched in hopes that I would fall. I never did. But guys, there were all these days that I thought, what am I doing? Like, there were even days that my wife would go, hey, I saw you were live on like the roof of a building. Does that help you make money? Does that help us make money? And I would have to go, honey, I don't know. I think it will, but I don't know. And guys, about 6 months into us living in Oklahoma, a hailstorm came. In the roofing industry, we call that sky diamonds. And I remember the hailstorm came through that night. Early in the morning, I recorded a video and I threw it out on Facebook. And in an hour, it had 70 shares. Just the impressions, the views, it was crazy. Guys, in the following 24 hours, I received over 100 inbound calls, texts, DMs, emails. And I went, oh, holy crap, this works. This works. Oh my gosh, this works. And that started my journey to teaching realtors about social and now all different industries and leveraging what I've learned in my other businesses. Nothing happened until it did. John Maxwell says small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. I believe the reason I'm still winning 11 years later is simply because I didn't quit. I didn't quit. I decided that video was a game changer, and I made it my priority to be there. And I believe that's why I'm winning, and I believe that's why there's people on here that I know that are winning. And I believe that that's why you have the chance to win. If you realize this is not a home run derby. You're not trying to figure out what are my 100 ideas, but what are the 3 ideas that are going to be home runs? That's not how this works. You've got to put in the work every day, knowing today you might just feel like striking out, but you're going to go up to bat anyway. And you're going to create that video, create that content, put it out there for all 7 people to see, believing that it's going to work. Because I can tell you this, guys, I've yet to meet the person that said they regretted doing video. I've yet to meet them. I've met thousands and thousands and thousands of people that do video, and I've never met one of them that goes, I wish I would have never started video. That's my one regret. I've never heard anybody say it, because that's the impact that it has. So guys, we're going to finish like this. And then if y'all have any questions, y'all go ahead and drop them in the questions area. Oh, Amanda, you put a question in. Okay, thank you. So I'll answer that one first. Guys, this is The Rock. I know you know who this is. You don't live under a rock. Pun intended, I guess. I have a parasocial relationship with The Rock. What does that mean? That means that I am emotionally invested in The Rock. I watch all of his movies. I watched all of his wrestling matches. I follow him on all the social platforms. I love The Rock. I support all the companies he owns. I love him. But what is a parasocial relationship? A parasocial relationship is when there are 2 people, one of which is emotionally invested, Kyle Draper, and the other doesn't know the other exists, The Rock. This was a phrase that someone created decades ago to talk about the phenomenon of the way we sensationalize relationships with famous people. All of you have your favorite actor, athlete, comedian, talk show host, singer, that if they walked into a place where you found yourself, you would freak out a little bit. You'd want their picture. You'd want an autograph. Why am I ending like this? Because now, because of the power of the internet, you and I, normal people, are able to develop parasocial relationships with people all over the world. So that you can walk into your local Target and people go, why do you look so familiar? Oh, are you that realtor person? It's an unbelievable advantage. And I can tell you countless stories of how this phenomenon has helped me win in tons and tons of rooms because I get to walk in with a fan base already established because people are friends with me on the internet. And so, guys, as we wrap this up, I want to put this up here. This is a QR code that you can scan, and this is going to take you to a 30-day challenge that I created. And let me tell you about it for a second. I have a coaching company called The Collective. One of our pillars is accountability. And we all know that it takes 21 days to build a habit. And so for most of us, we're not going to get better at anything without that daily discipline being built and created and fostered. And so that's why I created a bunch of different 30-day challenges. We have an AI challenge. We have a wellness challenge. We have a sales challenge. And so we've compiled some of the best things from each of those to create this free 30-day challenge where we will text you every day with a simple prompt that has something for you to do to be better. If you want to be a part of it, you can sign up with that QR code. I would be honored to have you. And in the last 3 minutes we've got, we're going to answer a couple questions. Amanda said, do you think that they can be raw or edited? Amanda, raw video is taking over right now. I still think the greatest balance is both. But if we're talking about one-to-one videos, I think it's raw every time. If you send an edited video to someone one-on-one, it's going to feel super fake. So I do not put captions on them. I don't edit anything. I literally hit record my message, and send it as raw as possible. Do not let your lack of editing keep you from starting to show up, because people love authentic. 100%. Let's see. We got a question about when the webinar was. Tareen, man, I hope I'm saying your name right. I apologize if I'm butchering it. Yes. I'm assuming they will have the recording available for you. Talk to whoever invited you, and I think they'll be able to get you what you need. So, guys, if we don't have any other questions, two things. One, thank you. Thank you for giving us an hour of your time on behalf of U Mortgage. It's an honor to have you. And guys, number two, my challenge is this. Record a video today. Do not say, man, this was so good. I'm gonna get better at this. If you don't take action today, this hour was wasted. Because if it wasn't important enough to do it today, you're not going to do it tomorrow. You're not going to do it Wednesday. You're not going to do it next week. And so whether you do anything with the video or not, practice the muscle. Record the video. Prove to yourself you can do it. Watch the benefit it brings to your life and business. And I love and appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me. If I can do anything for you, find me online. Let's have a conversation. Appreciate you guys.